It's important to identify and meet individual needs as well as understanding the points of referral available to ensure the promotion of equality and diversity in the workplace. A few definitions to go over first of all. Firstly, equality, which is all about treating everyone as individuals. There's diversity, which is more the celebration of people's differences, whether that's their background, their age, ability and skill set. And then tying that together, there's inclusion, which is giving everyone equal opportunities. Having diverse students working together, valuing the diverse and unique contributions by each student, okay, and allowing them that contribution in class. So it's very important that all this goes on within the classroom. The Equality Act of 2010 gave a definition of disability, and whether that be physical or mental impairments, and it also sets out legal guidelines to reduce inequalities, particularly in the workplace and in our field in education. Within the Equality Act, there are 9 protected characteristics, which are age, gender reassignment, pregnancy and maternity, marriage and civil partnership, race, sex, sexual orientation, disability, and religion and beliefs. Which all learners have their own characteristics. Okay, and we have such a diverse in this country, in Harlow, in the college, we have such a diverse range of students. In my class, I have people with anxiety and depression. I have people on various levels, scale of the autism spectrum. I have someone with oppositional deficiency disorder. I have transgender. People of all different levels and abilities, and a wheelchair user who's got a physical disability, but also struggles with memory and has various mental impairments that need to be covered. So all a range of those protected characteristics that need to be taken into consideration when planning and delivering classes. So it's important for me as a tutor that I provide support for the learner to achieve, whether that be having assistance, having the SEND support within the class to be with certain people. I allow certain learners extra time, and also make sure there's lots of differentiation in the activities, and there's stretch and challenge for some people, or like I said, extra time, or a sort of streamlined version of certain activities that still allow learners to meet the criteria. For example, one thing I do in class, at the beginning of a year, I use sort of a questionnaire, a VARK questionnaire, learning styles questionnaire, whatever you might want to call it, to identify people's preferred learning styles. So, for example, I've got someone in my class who's a very visual learner, a lot more creative, and sometimes struggle with the writing thing. And although I like to get them to write as much as they can to improve this, there are certain elements where you can differentiate the task to suit their needs. So, for example, if we write an evaluation essay, while some people might prefer to write, I'll give the opportunity for this learner in particular, for example, to do their essay in video form. Okay, them speaking to it, video log, and things like that, to allow them again to meet the same criteria, but to do it in their way. Okay, so it's not so much of a challenge for them in that particular bit. As well, at the beginning, obviously, we do lots of initial assessments and diagnostic assessments, certainly to get the levels of English and maths in the classroom, but also there's diagnostic assessments for course-specific things to find out their levels, their writing styles, their writing ability, which then all trans onto the group profile. And I have record of all the learners' abilities on my group profile, any points of interest that might need to be in terms of their learning disabilities, their diverse needs, individual needs, which help me plan lessons, and it also allows the support there all the time. If another tutor was to walk in the class, the group profile is there to know that learner's individual needs. It also allows me to mix up the groups, different abilities, help them out. Whether put in strong people with slightly weaker learners and their ability, which and I try and encourage peer teaching in the class. So if one learner finishes really quickly and then maybe doesn't see the justification or motivation to do extra work themselves because they've already completed the criteria, I try and encourage them to work with people sitting next to them, the weaker learners in the class, to help them, give them more of a role, give them more, a perceived power within the classroom, in their minds. Okay, which stretches and challenges them because they feel like they're contributing in their own way now. What also happens, it's also important to know the points of referral, at the beginning and also during lessons, during the year, if things do go wrong, if things need to happen. So it's important that everything does go through your AAM, who then probably will refer it onto the head of academy, who then feeds it onto the SEND team, and then in a sort of cycle, the SEND team can then come and assist me, whether that's just helping me upskill in certain areas, or being a physical presence in the classroom. So it's important to have that referral system in place so that things happen smoothly and things can happen in order to meet the individual needs of the learner. I also have certain values in the classroom in terms of mindset, and it's important to have. I feel it's important, very important, to have a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset, both dealing with difficult learners. So on my part, having someone with oppositional deficiency disorder in the classroom, who's going to be a bit reticent, reluctant to maybe do certain tasks, may challenge you if they're not happy. It's important not to think that person can't be helped or shouldn't be helped because they're different. So it's important to have that growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. So, it's giving equal treatment to everyone. Giving everyone that equal opportunity to succeed in the classroom. Okay, even if there is negative behaviour and progression. Okay, there's that phrase, don't make people famous for their behaviour, for their lateness and things like that. We don't really want to focus on that. We want to focus on the positives. I also think I'm pretty good at creating a culture in the classroom where everyone is equal and everyone does have an equal opportunity to contribute, whether that's sticking a hand up in group discussions or presenting work or having a go at all the tasks and things like that. I do feel I create a pretty good culture which allows the students to value their own contributions and value the work they do. Thinking a little bit more, on another professional side, you have the Education Training Foundation, the ETF, which sets out 6 professional values and attributes that they want enforced in the classroom, or certainly reinforced. From reflecting what is best, the best way to teach, best way to meet the diverse needs of the learners, also how to inspire and motivate people with different abilities, people with different needs, be able to create creative strategies in place, if you do come across difficult, challenging learners, again, to help them succeed. Like I said about the culture, the ETF, one of their values is to value and promote the social and cultural diversity in the classroom. Okay, and I think that's equally important because the country is in a rocky position in general, but it is such a diverse country these days. So it's important that the students recognise the wider impact of the need to value diverse opinions and things like that, because there are so many diverse people that ultimately they're going to deal with throughout their life and throughout their work. Okay, so it's very important that from this level, even in school at this age, 16 to 18, they are valuing and promoting the differences, the social and cultural diversity that there is out there. And that will helpfully build, positive rapport with the learners. And then finally, Ofsted, have a couple of objectives they've set out in the last few years, leading up to 2020, that they want enforced. So obviously they're an inspection team. So their first objective is sort of to go around and when they inspect, making sure that colleges are complying with the Equality Act of 2010, making sure that all the characteristics, those protected characteristics, are not being impacted by what's going on in the classroom. And also, secondly, that they've got a big push to tackle bullying and discrimination in the workplace and in the classroom and things like that, which I along with I'm sure everyone else at the college, tackles as well daily. Making sure that there is no bullying, there is no discrimination, and everyone has an equal opportunity. Everyone values the needs of others, and there is inclusion going on every single day.